What's good, YouTube, and welcome to Let's Discuss. Now, as you can see today, there's no guests. It's just me today. And this is the first video in a series of videos I'm going to be making called Let's Discuss Majoring in Blank. Now, as I'm sure most of you already know, I am a senior computer science major at Alabama A&M University. Go Bulldogs. And the purpose of this series is to give you high school seniors or you undecided college freshmen an idea of what it's like to major in these popular fields. So now that you pretty much have the gist of everything, let's discuss majoring in computer science. I think the first thing we need to talk about is what is computer science? Computer science is a broad field where you study pretty much everything related to computer technology. And that might sound a little bit intimidating, and it can be at times, but it's worth it. Trust me, it is so worth it to, it's worth majoring in. And the reason is you get so many different career opportunities out of computer science. You can be a software developer, database admin. You can develop websites. You can be a hardware engineer. You can go into cybersecurity. You can be a game developer. You can do animation. And that's seven just off the top of my head. I personally, I picked this field because, so when I was a senior in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to major in. And I was kind of teetering back and forth between whether I wanted to do physical therapy or computer science. Ultimately, the reason why I chose computer science over physical therapy was because I might not have known what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want it to take a long time for me to get wherever I was going to go. You know what I mean? In computer science, you can get a nice high paying job after a bachelor's degree. A lot of fields like physical therapy and other medical field majors, you have to have higher education, higher than bachelor degree, in order to just, in some cases, in order to even get a job in your field, you have to have more than a bachelor's degree. And that, you know, y'all got it if you are interested in the medical field. But yeah, I'm not about that life. So that was my main reasoning for choosing computer science over physical therapy. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what you learn, like what kind of things are covered in this major. You learn probably the most time you'll spend in the computer science field will be learning how to program in different languages. Now, if you don't know, I don't mean languages as in English, Chinese, French, Spanish. I mean programming languages, C++, Java, Python, C Sharp, etc. Um, that's what you'll spend most of your time learning about, chances are. You'll also learn things like computer ethics, what is legal and what isn't legal, things you can do in the computer science world. You'll learn a lot about networking, how computers talk to each other, how computers connect and share information. You'll learn how the internet works. You'll learn how to design apps. You'll learn how to design websites, create and manage databases. You'll learn cybersecurity, how to protect computers and computer networks and data from hackers. And I'll be honest, it's going to be a lot of math. Some of it useful, most of it probably not. It just kind of depends on what field within computer science you want to go into. Um, what else? Let's talk about having success in your classes. It's important to ask questions. Computer science is a very hard field. It is very important to ask questions and understand what you're doing, not just not just do the work, actually know what you're doing, because in computer science, it's a science, math and science classes, they always build on each other. It's not like English or history where you go to an English class or a history class. Next year you have another English or history class and it's a completely separate class, like world history to American history. It's not really like that. It's like math. Each year you take a harder version of the math you had last year. So you need to really understand what you're doing in this field. So ask questions, don't be afraid to do that. Study groups is a big thing. Study groups, I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have my study groups. When you have your study groups, it allows you to get together with your peers and, just kind of hold each other accountable, make sure everyone is doing the work, make sure everyone understands what they're doing. If you make a mistake, they can help you fix it. If they make a mistake, you can help them fix it. That's how you make a lot of your friends in college, actually, in your field, at least through study groups. Um, also practice on your own. That's a big one because when you learn a skill, if you don't use it, you lose it. And like I mentioned before, everything builds on each other. So the only way you can really learn and understand what you're doing is to practice outside of class time. Some of the pros to being a computer science major is, like I mentioned earlier, you will be able to walk into a high paying job as soon as you graduate with a bachelor's degree. Um, Computer science majors are in high demand. You know, Technology controls everything that we do. And the longer we live, the more control technology is going to have. And so it's really the job is in really high demand. There's, if you feel like you work better in team environments rather than working on your own, then computer science is a great field for you. Um, because all computer science is about is collaborating with other computer scientists and trying to create your certain aspect of a greater project. And so it's really good if you feel like you work better in team environments. If you feel like you work better on your own, and you would rather be isolated, you're a one man show. Computer science, there's still places for you in computer science too, but computer science is mainly a team oriented field. And flexibility. Um, like I mentioned before, there's so much you can do in computer science. One of the reasons I like the field computer science as opposed to like majoring in software development or majoring in cybersecurity. When you major in computer science, you learn a little bit of everything. And I think that's really important because I, for example, I came in thinking I wanted to be a software developer, but because I was under the umbrella of computer science, when I realized that's not really what I want to do, I was able to quickly find something else in the computer science field that I was interested in instead of just, had I majored in software development, I would have probably found out I didn't want to do it and then had to change my major and I would have been pushed back some more years, which was the whole reason I majored in computer science in the first place was because I didn't want to be pushed back. You know what I mean? So those are some of the pros. Let's talk about some of the cons. Work load, workload. You have to have great time management skills to be a computer science major. Um, the workload is heavy. I right now am in a class where every week they want us to create a whole new Android app every week. Every Monday, one is due. And I have to create it. I have a week from start to finish, has to be done. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The computer science field can be boring. It can be. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna try and convince you that it's not. It can be. But you can still like what you do and you can still love your job and see the importance and the value of it. And still find the day-to-day living in this field, mundane, I guess. It's really, it's not very interactive unless you make it that way. You know what I mean? You kind of have to make your environment in the computer science field, because if you don't, you're going to be bored. Some people prefer it that way. Like I said, the one man army people, um, who want to do everything on their own, they probably love that side of it. Me personally, I'm a people person. I like to get up, I like to interact, and you can. It's just you have to make it happen in this field. Um, you have to stay educated in this field. Technology is always growing, technology is always changing. You can't, just because I'm going to graduate with my bachelor's degree from Alabama A&M University, does not mean 3 years from now I'm still going to be at the top of my game. You know what I mean? Technology evolves and changes quickly. Like every year, new things are coming out, and you have to be able to stay on top of it and keep studying up on it. That way, you can be more efficient. The computer science field is all about efficiency. How can we get what we're trying to get done the most efficient way possible? Um, I think the last con would probably be health. A lot of people in the computer science field, you sit at your computer all day. You have to make time to go out and exercise, or else, you're just gonna end up being sitting there, being getting fat. You know what I mean? You sit there all day. So when you're not working, you have to find the time to go out there and do whatever you like to do, whether it's lift weights, take a walk, take a jog, just do something to stay active, because you're not going to be very active in this, in the workplace. Um, as far as let's go back to the workload for a little bit. As far as managing your workload with extracurricular activities, it kind of just depends on the person. It depends on how fast you learn, how fast you catch on, and how motivated you are to do the work. Me personally, I try to get something done in each of my classes every day, whether it's the next part of this project that I'm going to work on, or study this section that I have a quiz in this day, do this lab. I try to do something every day towards each of my classes. And, you know, you have 24 hours in a day. My extracurricular activities may take one, minimum one, max 5 hours a day. So anywhere in between then, and then you have 24 hours in a day. So that still leaves plenty of time for you to get your work done, but you have to be motivated to get it done. Um, that, do I have any more advice? I have some general advice. So one, take the opportunities given to you. as I mentioned earlier, if you are in the computer science field, there's a whole bunch of different things you can go into, which means there's a whole bunch of different opportunities that will be thrown at you. And whether you think you're ready or not, whether it's something you want to do or not, you need to take every opportunity given to you because you'll only end up bettering yourself in the end. Um, I know there's a lot of different things you can do in computer science, but ultimately everything kind of works together. And so even if you aren't interested in doing this thing, it can still benefit you knowing it, you know? And even if you don't think you're ready, you might not be ready. You'll still take the opportunity, learn a lot, and then you can apply it to future opportunities that you'll have. Um, Also, keep track of your projects, the projects that you do for school, the projects that your teachers make you do. Keep track of those. Pay attention, do them, um, and don't just after you turn them in, don't let that be it. Put them down on your resume or something because those projects will end up being your work experience when you're looking for jobs. And that is one thing that I didn't realize back when I was a freshman and sophomore. So when I got my first interview for a job opportunity, he asked me, "What projects have you done?" I couldn't answer him because I mean, I had done projects. I just, did them, turned them in, moved on with my life. It wasn't something that just like I didn't give it any second thought. So I'm telling you, be better than me and put your projects on your resume. Don't forget what you've done and don't forget how you did them because those will be your future job experience. Now, I think that is it for me today. Thank you for joining the conversation. I hope you are considering the computer science field. Um, I hope I helped answer some of your questions that you have. If you have any more, don't be afraid to put them in the comment description. I can make a part two. And don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Like I mentioned before, this is the first video in the series I'm going to be doing. So you don't want to miss any future college majors that we will be discussing. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.